Hi Scorpio, if you want to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. I've got your scroll here made in your name and essence, your ink blot. And if you want to dig in with me, let's see what's going on in your aura for any shapes or symbols that speak. Thank you as always for holding space, for me to share my insights, and of course, being my muse. I'm going to dig in here, Scorps. I'm seeing meditative people. They're down here at the bottom here. Kind of look like they're at a hearth or a gate. Hearth or a gate or something. Give me a moment as I dig in. Truly live. I don't have a whole lot of pre notions coming in. I'm seeing a lot of gears as well at the eyes. Okay, am I seeing your root? They feel male at the root that are protecting something. Your male energy, male aspects are strengths, strong stability. Scorps, I don't know if that's what you're looking to cultivate. This is what you're working towards. But there's also something that says security, and I'm not sure if it's security as in like stability security or security. I guess they're kind of, could be like they're cousins of the same thing. Yes, these they're seated, they're cross-legged, they have their hands. One has them like the hands on their knees, like very traditional style, and the other one has them slightly different. They're wearing a hood, but the hood's off. I don't know if they're like monks. Oh, I'm super chilly. Excuse me. Get my blankie. They could be like monks. Okay, but here's the funny thing. It's funny because it's wonderful. They look like Jughead from Archie in the comics. That is a monk. It's exactly what I'm seeing. Archie. Not Archie, Jughead. The one that eats the burgers and has the crown. Yep, that's what I'm seeing. So there's this feeling that you might be kind of like the jokester or something, or like the jester, but you're really quite wise. Like there's wisdom in it. You could also use humor to protect your feelings. Can I wander down that rabbit hole? Scorps will allow me into the gates here. This gate of your hearth of the root space, that again, stability, security, could be very protective. It has the shape of a dragonfly in it. Okay, I'm going to travel the dragonfly, if I may, and I'm gonna wander on up here. Now I'm in your belly. I feel like I'm in the belly of the beast, and I mean that potentially as a compliment, or just as a saying. I'm seeing a paper airplane. Like I want to take flight, but this paper airplane, it's almost like a trial run, but it's not strong. So I go back down to the monks. Okay, back up. Now what do I see? Sorry, it's all very authentic adventure and exploration. Okay, now I'm seeing it as I don't know what it's called, so bear with me, but I'll try to explain it. I believe I saw it on Ancient Aliens, the show, and there's this like artifact that is shaped. This really isn't indicative of what it looks like, but I believe it's some sort of like craft that looks like it has wings out, like a bird, but it actually flies. So I think this is like an old thing, and they made replicas of it to see if aerodynamically it could fly, and it could. Did I say that weird? It can fly. I feel like I keep going back and forth between like the sense of humor and that's protecting something, but I want to take flight. Okay, I'm going to keep going here, Scorpios, if you don't mind. Then I'm wandering up into your eyes. Like, this is where I'm at here. So, like, this is where your Archie in the comics, Jughead monks are, and the dragonfly, and I'm coming up, and that's where I saw that thing. And now I'm coming up into the eye space. I'm seeing gears. Gears and glasses. You know when someone was maybe had teeth gear when they were young? Maybe an insecurity brings me back down. Not back in a bad way, just revisit in some sort of reflection of, oh, when I had mouth gear or braces or my teeth were crooked, something about the mouth, or maybe the way I had a speech impediment or a stutter, I didn't communicate, etc., etc. There's a reflection. So I go back up to the eye space, to the sight space. There are... Am I in Star Wars? I might be in Star Wars. Could also be, oh, for heavens and hot dogs, what is that show's name? The Dark Crystal. The newer one, I think it was on Netflix. The Dark Crystal. Anyway, there's like these big creature-y things. Being good, better, ugly is indifferent to me right now. I'm just trying to dig in. Okay, so if I go back to the Star Wars, but even in the other show, there's something about like cardinal. Some sort of position. It all makes me feel very secure. Maybe if I hold a particular position. Scorps, are you looking to, maybe you're looking to hold a position, or you have your eye in a position and you're like, yeah, that's my jam. I want to head towards that direction. That's what I want to feel like in life. That's what I want to feel like. So how do I get there? Something about shifting the perspective. So like these big creatures that are, they're like optometrists anyway, but I appreciate the way they're coming through in character because they work slowly. So it's almost like as I'm, stepping in as a guest as a Scorpio, and I have these glasses on of perception, and every so often like these optometrist kind of creatures come around and shift something, and then they kind of walk away, and they're observing how now I observe clearer sight, foggier, this, that, or the other. But it kind of feels slow and maybe a little awkward, like when I roll back to some sort of awkwardness in adolescence or something along that lines with the mouth, something along that lines, like braces or something. Like an awkwardness. But I have such a sense of humor, and I don't know if that as well could be protecting some sort of insecurity. But also, Scorpios, if I may, you just might have a really good sense of humor. You might be like burgers. I don't know. I quite enjoy the feeling of it, though. And so as these optometrists, and these are like not, getting glasses at the dollar store. These are, I think they're helping you with your spiritual sight because you're doing it. Like you've stepped into this realm where you've decided, however it is that you want to perceive yourself or others, your reality, this, that, or the other, whatever you're working through or working with, it's like your prescription is changing. I feel like whatever it was or may have been before or just in your recent past, like I feel like it's hovering right about here, give or take, but it's still in my eyesight, if I may. There's howling dogs or werewolves, but I do feel like they're dogs or coyotes howling at the moon. They're just howling. So I feel like something in about an arm's length space. So maybe that's where you hold somebody or a particular version of yourself or an aspect that you're drawing forward. It's not my concern. I'll get constipated, I admit. It almost like sparked it. I'm going to start adding on some tarot and oracle. It sparked it like oh yeah, I got to make that appointment to go see my optometrist in the sky type thing. So I'm coming up to the top. Whew. And if I may, as I'm drawing up into the top here, I'm not sure if you can see it with me. So now I'm like way up here. I'm on the Fool's there. Thank you. I'm on the top of a castle. And there's flags. Shapeshifter just came through as well. You being the shapeshifter. It's so awkward when that happens. 2 shakes, Scorpios. I apologize. Let me see if I can get it with my toe. To an extent. All right, one moment. 3 of Swords. Oh, 3 of Swords it is. Makes me feel like whatever was like arm's length. Okay. Interesting, but I'll take it. Justice and 8 of Swords. Yes. 8 of Swords. So something, the dog howling, 8 of... I don't know if that'll go through the lighting. The lighting is the lighting. Okay. This is a whole contraption. This is a whole contraption. You may, or as a Scorpio in the collective energy, maybe you can resonate with it. Maybe this is something you're interacting with outside of yourself, but amongst, I feel like Scorpios, you know if you know, and if you don't, it's not your story, and that's okay. If anything has caused you, even in your own reflections of the self or some sort of situations you feel are outside of the self that have happened to you, this, that, or the other. The arm's like howling at the moon. Created change, werewolf. It created the change of whatever was binding you, which I'm going to admit it feels like you might have created part and parcel of the contraption to contend with something, possibly many things. But here's the interesting part. So as I'm seeing like this over time, like the humor, all these bits and pieces, even though they were things that you may have done or created to protect security from threats, this, that, or the other, you were actually building like a transformer. Howling of the moon, werewolf comes in, and perception, optometry, and it's like suddenly you're realizing these things or that maybe you have in place are like clicking and the gears are moving and justice comes in. Balance. Maybe you are going through something in the justice system, but that's not how I'm reading it. This is mind and heart stuff. This is your meat suit and your multiverse. This is it, baby. This is it. This is, thank you. Shapeshifter of the justice. See how it's like from the hips all the way up to the head? It's the same thing in your, when I said shapeshifter, there it is. Scales down, scales up, top of the castle. Ooh. You're surrendering to something And when I say that, I mean with like a super strength to say, I am surrendering this. I don't know if it's like self-sabotage or just releasing things that don't work anymore. They worked for a time. And now, what? They're like seizing up. And you're like, okay. Acceptance and equality. Yeah, you're accepting of things. Of your own doing. Midnight. The most magical hour of all. What else do we have here? Is that it? On the bottom, risks and rewards. Okay, take that in, Scorpios, if you'd like to. And risk and rewards. I feel like sometimes you've bitten into the apple and it was a risk. It was a poisonous apple. And then other times you ate the apple and you're like, that was fantastic. How do I get more of that? How do I get more of that? Something about a pity party is over. Jughead's coming in, enjoying life, enjoying ease by creating ease without creating complications to contend with, consciousness, creation, existence, this, that, or the other. There's some sort of beauty in celebrating, like Cinco de Mayo feels, something in celebrating what you're leaving behind. What did work for you was beautiful while it served you. But Scorpios are transforming. I'm going to flip it while we're in here because I've already been rambling on for 17 minutes. And now I've met the transformer. Midnight, the most magical hour of all. Simply put, feels like the werewolf. That something happened like right about here. And I'm seeing the movie The Labyrinth, where David Bowie like changes time on her because there was she responded in a cocky way about something, so he sped up time. So there might have been like a cocky air that maybe you had at one point in time, and you're like, oh, you still did it, but you're like, now I understand that it was unnecessary, or it was a reaction or response to something from, again, when maybe you were a kid or younger at a different stage of life and maybe had braces, or, maybe, I don't know, something along that lines. Okay. Scorps. It's beautiful. Thank you for allowing me to be in your aura and energy. So now I've met your transformer. Oh, I don't know the name of the transformer, but I'm seeing a part of the movie Transformer, and there's like one main one. I don't know if he's like the oldest one or something like that, but that's who I'm seeing now. And I'm seeing in that sight space, but and I try not to hold the perception unless it places itself in there. Now I'm seeing like monks, like traditional monks, or more traditional monks. They do have bald heads. They're still wearing their cloaks. No, they're more of a scryer, maybe? Is that a scryer? Anyway, I don't think that's the point. And the site, it's like they're on unicycles. And things are rolling. Things are moving. Like once you commit to it and you go through this transformation, Scorpios, things get rolling. Yes, Ace of Airships. What's behind you? It's even like I'm speeding up in speech. Like I'm getting all excited. Oh my goodness. 2 aces. Ace of Airships and Ace of Engines. Will that come through? Because I really want you to enjoy that. The Scorpios, this has been quite the story. This is everything in your, there we go, light body, energy body, lighting up like a blimp. It's slow and steady. This transformation has been slow and steady, is still slow and steady, but it's light as a feather, and I want you to feel that lightness. See, a big old blimp in the sky can be a beautiful thing. Don't rush it. Don't rush it. Don't rush it, because the transformation is happening. And I'm seeing at the same time like somebody with their guns, and then they put them in the holsters, maybe in a fancy style, like the gunslinger. Like you've shot your shots and you get to relax. Relax for a little bit into this new resonance. Feel your new body, your new perception. What is that? I can't remember his name. I'm still stuck. There's still a part of my awareness that's trying to file through for his name. All right, Scorpios, I'm going to get ready to close out here if there's anything else that would like to step forward. Ace of Engines also came through. So your thoughts, everything's lighting up. And then the Ace of Engines, as I wanted to say, and this is about your earthly expression, your essence embodied into your earthly expression. Moon voyage. Moon and midnight. Cinco de Mayo. I feel like those things may... it just is what it is. All right, closing out here for Scorpio. Whatever bound you before, you are uncaging from it. Not out of spite, I just heard. Thank you, Scorpios. Like, share, subscribe. Links below to help a gal grow if you wish to donate or request your own Rorschach in a reading. All that kind of good stuff. Okay, we've got lots coming out here for Scorpio. Closing out. Okay, I'll take you, but we gotta stop. It's like a whole poker hand here. So first and foremost, we have here the shaman with the queen behind it. Okay. Your female aspects, or female energy, could be where like your like diamond in the rough is where midnight going down into your deep reflections for whatever healing, or actually it's what I'm hearing is soul retrieval. Scorpio is soul retrieving pieces of themselves that perhaps you didn't even know were missing. And plus you have here the unseen, the father, and the siren. This is that whole optometry thing. It's coming into focus. It's coming into focus. The father. What are these? Give me a second. Okay. So I want to note that castle is here too, when we were talking about the top of your castle before you transformed. You have the queen here under the shaman and the father. You might have parents in spirit. Perhaps there's something about your parents living or have moved on that has triggered you to be a particular way, to survive a particular way. Maybe it's in a response or reaction to how you were raised, or whatever the case may be. There's so many variables. I'm not trying to diminish it like it's, but it's overwhelming when you try and consider all variations and variables at once and feel them. But the message that's coming through is that there is lots unseen from your perspective when maybe you were young. Maybe you have resentments. Maybe you are going through and retrieving your old soul pieces from when you were growing up or something along that lines. But it has some sort of reflection on the parents. The message plainly that's coming through that there was lots you didn't know and didn't see. So do your work, but there's this feeling of not necessarily like forgive and forget, but it's even like the way I'm trying to say it. There's so many variables for me to consider. And when you're smaller, when you're growing, even when you're a teenager and we all think we know everything and we see everything, all this, there are so many things we don't know about our parents who are really just big kids, right? So I feel like it might be not misplaced, but misunderstood. And Scorpios are coming into this place of, you know what? It's not mine to carry. Though I felt the effects of it, though it was very awkward for me or very hurtful for me, I'm not going to continue walking through life with that rotten apple. I want to turn it into a reward. Because even carrying the resentments could be hurtful for yourself. Okay. So I'm moving on into your castle. I'm at the top of the castle again. The turret. Maybe it's the turret. This is where you, Scorpio, in your whole transformer situation here, become the creator. You call down like a storm from that midnight sky, from your werewolf space, whatever was hovering out here, and you begin to create this transformer with all of your energy centers aglow. That's how that makes me feel. It's almost like that. Again, see, my logical mind doesn't remember things properly when I'm in this liminal space. Anyway, it's as if you're on the top of your castle and you're looking at the night sky. You're looking maybe at the reflections of your subconscious things, and you're wanting to have, ease, to feel ease. And you call it down like thunder, and it starts to rain, and it pours, and you're standing there, Scorpio, and you're just feeling the night sky rain upon you, every drip, and you're soaking wet, but you're taking it in. You're taking in every ounce of it at the same time, because it's washing away. It's cleansing some sort of palette, like this ancient airplane thing, and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I can fly. I can do this because I am this. I just need to create it. And the shaman storm is about retrieving your soul retrieval pieces. It's almost like you handed them off to your parents, or vice versa, something along that line, something of the lineage, or just simply the way maybe you're raised. And I see the eyes spinning, perception, and the guns holstered. And like a cosmic cowboy, you got this. All right, Scorpios. Thank you so much for being my muse. I am honored. Links below to help Gal grow. Like, share, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. And if you'd like to request your own aura artistry, your own Rorschach and a reading, the link is also below. All right, until next time, thank you.